Greetings, salutations on this Monday, November 24th, 2025. We are a mere 3 days away from the Thanksgiving holiday here in the United States. And if you're not in the U.S. and you're American, I know it's for many, I don't know, that was the one holiday that I really did miss when I was abroad. It was Thanksgiving. I wanted to do the big feast in Japan. It was kind of tough. I remember the very first year I was living in Japan, the first time. I've lived there twice. I was in my early 20s, and my other American friends and I were like, okay, what are we going to do? I think we went to a fancy hotel in Ebisu, as far as I recall, and we had this kind of course meal, and they had a turkey, some kind of turkey roll thing. It was like a fancy turkey roll that they made, and it was okay. It was fun. We all got together, but what I really wanted was just the rustic, a bird and a few nice sides and something low key. And I think that's what I love about the holiday is it's low key. You just make a good meal and you go for it. So this year we just haven't, it's just worked out where we're not traveling, and the friends we would go over to, they're going to be traveling. And so I was starting to get a little bummed, like, we have nothing to do. And last night I had this amazing window of time where I could go down to the supermarket, and I went down to buy water only, but I thought, let's see what we can find. Let's see, as the backup plan, if you had to cook something to make it feel like Thanksgiving, what would you do? And I just don't want to do a whole bird. I found a whole bird. It was even cheap. But thawing it out for 3 days and then, it just wasn't the thing. So I looked around at different options. Yeah, you can get only the turkey breast, you can do this and that. But then I found these Cornish game hens, and I was like, perfect. So we're going to do Cornish game hens with some vegetables and a couple sides. And it was interesting how that really, that really did it for me. I felt like I was excited again. Just knowing that we could make something and enjoy it, and I'm really looking forward to Thanksgiving now, just because I have a plan. It's amazing. I'll get to that in a minute. So where are we at? It's November. I mean, it really is the end of November. We're at the end of the year. Looking, I think it's 27 days left of the fall, technically, in this hemisphere anyway, until winter officially starts. It's going to be a mostly sunny day here. I think it'll get into 51 as a high, which is 11 degrees Celsius. So it's not going to be too cold, but it's getting there. The evenings have been getting down close to freezing, so it's definitely reminding all of us of what season we're actually in. But looking at some trivia today. What did I notice here? Oh, yeah. Pat Morita, the Japanese-American actor who played Mr. Miyagi why am I forgetting the movie all this? Karate Kid. I didn't realize he died 20 years ago on this day. 20 years ago already. It felt like maybe 5, 10. But it's been already 20 years. 2005, he died. So just an iconic character. But anyway, looking at events, a couple things stood out to me. Well, the first national Thanksgiving celebration was held on this day in 1863. And Ruth Nichols, on this day in 1930, Ruth Nichols became the first woman to fly a transcontinental flight. So just amazing. That's 95 years ago. Pretty incredible. Imagine this is the first woman. And I don't remember, let's see, first transcontinental flight date. Let's see. what it says here. The first transcontinental flight was completed by Galbraith Perry Rogers on November 5th, 1911. So 19 years later, she became the first woman to do it. And, but I mean, either one of them, I mean, imagine being one of the first to do that. That must have just been, I don't know. Would you be terrified? I'm not sure. I mean, that's truly doing something no one's ever done before. Think about the space, the astronauts and things like that. The first ones, of course, many of them, there were not a few deaths involved with, our space adventures. Actually reading a fantastic book, very slowly, unfortunately, called Challenger. And it really lays bare the real actual danger and the threat to your human life of going into the space program. It's riveting reading. So if you're ever wanting to read something riveting, it almost reads like a long novel, but it's rooted in real history. So just amazing how much courage there is to explore and do new things. It is truly amazing. But I want to go back on the theme to close out here of, my shopping trip last night and what that really highlighted for me, a good reminder. And that was when you're feeling down or frustrated or like things aren't coming together or, you don't see a positive outcome. What I was reminded of last night shopping around was that, in the seeking and finding the joy in seeking. I mean, in that case, it was, shopping and the store was kind of empty and it was just really relaxing, frankly. But I could look around at all these options and explore and let my imagination go. Maybe we have a little ham. Maybe we have a full bird. Maybe we have partial bird. Maybe, and then these little game hens came along and I was like, that is perfect. Is it traditional? No. But is it perfect for us? Yes. It's absolutely perfect for a whole host of reasons. And then my mood about the whole thing really shifted in just finding that one thing. And I think that really applies to other ventures, is that a lot of times I find myself kind of in a slump or a place of frustration when I just haven't really explored it adequately and allowed myself to explore the options and go into that place of sort of wonder and open opportunity, opening myself up to options. I've shared recently about going and seeing a recording studio. That really lifted my spirits because I could visualize what it's going to be like to produce the show that I'm producing in that studio. And, there's something about visualization. There's a guy named Todd Churches who wrote a book on visualization, actually, and I had dinner with him, I think it was last year. He wrote a great book about and teaches on visual leadership, and talks about the power of that. He's got a talk called "How Do You Get Others to See What You're Saying?" It's Todd Churches, TODDCHERCHES. I think it's so important to visualize what it is that excites us, and other things kind of come into the picture. They become clearer, and you feel freer. You feel like you're making progress by visualizing it. It really brings it alive when you can see it. I mean, there's so many sayings built into our language. Seeing is believing. And I think seeing is believing. And in order to see, we got to open our eyes and we got to look. And it doesn't mean we're going to see with the first look. Sometimes we've got to keep searching. And when the right thing comes along, it's like that jewel, in amongst all the things that aren't jewels, or the find in the thrift store that, you dig through a bunch of junk and you see oh man, this is a real diamond in the rough here. I found something. And that's what it is to be figuring out what to do next is really a process. It's a journey. It's an adventure of looking to see what's out there. What are the possibilities? So what are the possibilities for you this week or just today? And how does that lift your spirits to even be looking at what they might be? With that, I'm going to leave you for today. Thank you so much for listening. Please give us a good like on Apple Podcasts. Give us a good rating. Be good to yourself, be good to others, and we will check back tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye-bye, everybody.